episode 5. Thank you for joining in. Looks like I got a few people watching right off the bat. I got the chat room set correctly tonight, so right off the bat, if you're in there, let me know who's in there and who am I talking to. What what are we going to talk about tonight? And thank you for joining me. Let me just, I'll say hello in the chat room first. I'll be the first one. I think I got it right this time. Like, oh, 7 people watching. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining. I have a whole list of different things that I wanted to talk about. As usual, just different topics. Everything from music business uh, to to the state of the country we're in, to movies, to different things. Um, you know, hello, Beth. Here's the first thing I want to get off of my chest today. I'm not going to do a super political show. I think the last time I was on, I was a little too political. Um, but Donald Trump released information about the drones today. I don't know if you guys were watching, uh, but uh, he said nothing. But what he did say was that they were ours, right? So I think a lot of us knew that. A lot of us thought that, and I'm curious why the past administration couldn't just tell us that. What what, what was it? And there's Tim's on. Tim will probably have an opinion about this. And Rich, hello. Again, this isn't about taking sides. This is we're not having political bashing. It's just curious to me that after the drone thing was a big deal to me. I was very curious what it was. And again, I've said it a million times, despite my love for interest for the extraterrestrial phenomena, never once in my life did I think that those drones were of alien origin. It made me crazy that anybody thought that, to be honest with you. The idea that they had red and green lights on it, just like boats and planes that are made here on Earth. I thought that was crazy. But I was disappointed to find out that the information we got on the drones was that they were ours. I think we all knew that already. So that's how I feel about the drones. Unless any of you guys have anything to say about it in there in the room. If not, I'm gonna go straight to the next thing until Timothy starts talking. How are you, brother? You doing good? Like, is the chat? I always get curious. Is the chat room frozen or is it delayed? Like, a bunch of people said hello and then it just disappears. Like nothing gets said. I don't know. So, uh, if you follow my posts and there was a lot of people talking about the post I made just the other day about my deep dive into um, understanding the concept that time all exists at once, uh, and that everything is, I think that movie Interstellar tries to explain this. Uh, at the end, I think the whole point is that time exists all in one moment, other than our reality, and it's hard for me to understand it, and but this is my life. I've been involved in this stuff my whole life. I've read books on physics and quantum physics and all this stuff for years, and trying to grasp the concept that every moment happens all at once. It all makes sense to me, but it's hard to understand how is this happening then in this moment. And so, in that new book I'm reading by Whitley Strieber called The Fourth Mind, he tried to explain it, and it's the closest thing that kind of made sense to me is if you're in a stream and you're a fish in a stream. What's up, Randy? If you're a fish in a stream and you're swimming, you don't know what's behind you, and you really don't know what's in front of you. You just know the moment you're in, which is the perception of time happening in a linear motion as the fish is swimming through the stream. However, if you are a being on the bank of a river that fish is streaming in, your perspective is of behind the river or behind the fish, in front of the fish, and to the sides of the fish. So that is what time is supposed to be like. And if you're far enough away from it, you can look in and see it happening where the fish can't. It's a neat perspective, and it got my brain almost there. I continue to try to understand the concept, um, the concept that every move you make creates another reality. So there's infinite realities and a giant loop of different things. If I have a car accident in my reality today, then that sets off a whole bunch of other realities while this timeline continues to work. Very, very. I mean, do any of you guys ever think about any of that at all? Just out of curiosity, like, and do you have any theories or thoughts about it? I don't know if my buddy Vaughn is sneaking around watching, and he always shows up at the end, but if he's watching, he would have theories on all of this stuff, and Stryker would too. But it's fascinating to try to grasp it, but it makes sense in my brain. Something tells me that it's real and that that's how it is, and that all time happens in one moment. Everything tells me it's real, but trying to grasp it like I understand the guitar, or I understand working Pro Tools or anything, it makes me crazy. But so there's that. But that moves on to my buddy Chris Carroll was talking about the quantum computer, and I don't know if any of you guys follow this whole thing with the quantum computer, but there's all these theories that the computer itself is reaching into alternative dimensions to do its processing power. I cannot explain or comprehend this myself, I, but if you watch any of these YouTube videos on this, there's a bunch of like real doctors and real people that think this is the real shit, man. Like it's processing things so fast because it's gathering data from other dimensions, and it's a computer, and it's happening right now. Like that's some shit that Marvel movies have stuff going on, and they think it's happening right now. Credible scientists, not doomsdayers and conspiracy theorists. If you haven't checked it out, just check it out. It's insane. And like anything you can look up on YouTube. So I'm just telling you guys things that I find interesting. you know, uh, the other thing that goes along with that is now the other day China released some AI. So now they've caught up to the American AI, but yet it's going to be much cheaper. And now that's going to be scary. And China has an AI, and why would China not have an AI? That's what. If anyone's surprised about it, I can't fathom why anyone would be surprised. I, I always say there's this thing where uh, we as the United States kind of got cocky, and ever since whatever World War II, we're the superpower. No one can beat us. But what about what about all the time all those other countries are just spending trying to create something to defend themselves from us all these, and I know we do it too, but all these years and years and years, and why wouldn't someone else has something that we have? I I don't know. It's crazy, and no one's saying anything about it. Everyone's just listening to me, so I'm talking to myself about it all. So maybe that means it's not an interesting topic to any of you guys. Oh, Jeff Marshall, what are you doing, buddy? Let's talk about music for a second. To any of you guys that know the M3 festival, I played it twice. It's in my backyard, and they announced yesterday the who's going to be performing this year, and David Lee Roth is one of them, out of nowhere. And it's so interesting because he was the lead singer of Van Halen, that was the greatest. What's up, Andrew? Who was, one of the greatest bands of all time. His name still commands this kind of excitement when you see it and you hear it, and it's grandiose. It's not the same old festival thing. So you see it and then you get real excited. Oh my gosh, that's a big step. David Lee Roth, who's supposed to be in retirement anyway, right? And now he's coming out, and I find that really weird. Everything I know about Dave, I do not know Dave personally. I know a lot of people that do. Uh, he doesn't do things. He he usually doesn't associate with the hair bands. He stays as far away from it as he can. He's often said he's better than that, better than all those bands. Really kind of arrogant about a lot of it, but yet he comes out of retirement after 5 years, and he's headlining the one true '80s hair band festival. Very shocking to me, very confusing, and I'm confused at M3's tactic because that was a I know Dave was an enormous amount of money, probably more than they've paid anybody ever. Um, I know that both Brett and Twisted Sister, when we played at the time, were by far the two highest paid acts they'd ever paid. And I know what they paid us last year, which was a lot of money for a festival band. But um, I'm certain that David Lee Roth is asking double what we got paid. And I don't know if it was a smart move financially because you see the name Dave and you get excited, but he's tarnished his own reputation so much by kind of just being strange and out there and a clown, and not sounding amazing, that I don't know that anyone cares. Like, it was neat to see Dave's name on the roster, but is anyone really care? The comments I heard more than anything were, it doesn't matter. We just like to hang out with each other. It's more of a community going to M3 than what the acts really are. Um, but Dave Lee Roth. But on the flip side, Warren DeMartini is going to join Stephen Pearcy. It's not going to be Stephen's band, which has Johnny Monaco and Blas Elias and my buddy Eric Ferrantinez. So I don't know what the deal is going to be, but I did find out today that it won't be any of Stephen's solo band. It's going to be somebody else. So what is the blah about, Beth? What are you blahing about? The delay is crazy. Oh, I agree. There you go, Randy. So, what else was I gonna? All these. Oh, so it's funny. I brought up Eric Ferrantinez, and I was looking. Eric's a buddy of mine. Me and him made we made that sea glass candle together because he has a whole sea glass thing. He lives in Oceanside, California, in the San Diego area. But I was watching him today on Facebook. He said he'd found like 50 sand dollars. Like he beach combs. I guess that's the term. When I was a kid, and I'd go to Ocean City, I'd always see the word beachcomber, but I didn't know what that meant. Obviously, I figured it out, um, but I guess that's what he does. Eric Ferrantinez does that. Uh, Randy, I don't know if we're playing the pre-party again. I don't know that there will. That was when the pre-party was Friday, but now they got Friday night again. They got Sebastian there, and you know, um, certainly if Sebastian is the headliner and has anything to say about it, I'm sure I'm not welcome there. Those things got to get. Every move that somebody makes usually has to get run by the headliner. So and that's what's going to confuse me about the Dave Lee Roth thing. For any of you guys that are M3 fans, part of the M3 experience is the chaos of the backstage experience and the fans being able to be back there and all of that. And Dave's not going to have it. Dave has shrouded himself in mystery for almost 50 years, and that's what he likes. That's how he likes it. So I don't know how that dynamic's going to work. He's not a meet and greet guy, so I don't. It just doesn't seem like it fits M3. But Eric Baker's my buddy. He's the guy that throws the thing, and he's a smart dude. And so I'm not doubting he knows something. It was just a shock to me that Roth was playing it. But so is Ace Frehley, uh, and Sebastian Bach. Warrant's going to be there. Winger's going to be there. So it's going to be a good show. And I imagine I'll go and 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 see Dave play those Van Halen songs. If I don't have a gig, I would go. So, but what I was saying about Eric Ferrantina is from Stephen Pierce's band, is he found 50 sand dollars. Oh, there you go. I used to be able to find sand dollars all the time on the beaches here in Oregon. So is it a West Coast thing? Is that what it is? I just don't know much about them on the East Coast. Um, by the way, I have to remind everybody, please, please, please hit the like button. The like thing matters a lot, and I don't know why. I can see that I've had 4 likes, but I think you can. Everyone that's in there can hit it, and it looks like there's 31 people watching right now. So hit the like button and hit the subscribe button while I'm trying to build this thing, uh, and just help if you can with that. So sand dollars, I don't even know what they really are. Are they a creature? Are they a shell? I'm sitting here talking about quantum physics and talking about time, and now I'm telling you I don't know what a sand dollar is. I hear you, Candace. I hear you. It must be a West Coast thing. So, uh, does anyone know what a sand dollar is? I will be happy when these live chats are much more in real time with no delay. So, you know, um, I marked my things off that I want to talk about. That's my new thing now. Oh, so uh, Matt P. Do you think the past M3 lineups were better? You know, there's been great lineups and there's been bad lineups. This is their 16th year, so um, so there's been years I've looked at it and gone, I don't have any interest in going to that, and there's been years I've looked at it and been jealous that I couldn't make it. Um, every band that's playing, I like the music from that I've seen so far. Uh, so that's the best I can say. Bring sea urchins that live on the sandy ocean floor. There you go. I got some. I got some information. That's awesome. Um, so this is. I want to move on uh, to to something more interesting. I found. I'm as a content creator, being a musician, not content creation has evolved into what it is today, and this is content that we are making here collectively together. Um, but as an artist, we write a song, that's content. If you're a guy that writes a movie, that's content. And our me and Brett talk about this all the time. Our attention spans have decreased so much. Like even on YouTube now, there's shorts, and I'll watch the 3 minute short of something. Um, but the attention span is so small that that you can't even see the big picture anymore. And this is what I found fascinating is if you're a Star Wars fan or Disney fan, Star Wars had to show the Acolyte this year, um, and everyone said it was terrible. Everyone said it was horrible. The critics ripped it apart. The fans ripped it apart. It was like the first time in the world that it was like all of it. I loved it. I loved every bit of it, but a lot of people didn't like it. Anyway, everyone just assumed the show didn't do well. So this report comes out from Disney about last year's shows, and on the entire Disney platform, it was the um, second biggest show, and they didn't even know that or realize it until they did all the math. And this is the part that fascinates me. They didn't say um, they didn't say it got watched 10 billion times or it got streamed or many times. We are now judging the success of even Star Wars movies in minutes. If you look it up, it was Disney's new way of measuring is how many minutes something was viewed. So it got like 2,800,000,000 minutes viewed. So it doesn't even count if you watch the first 5 minutes or something or the whole show or however that works now. That it's just measured in minutes. That's where we're at. I just find that crazy. I don't. It's crazy. I don't know what else to say about that. But that's where we're in. The attention span is nothing. And could you? I mean, could you just imagine having a meeting? You were the biggest show of the year. You 3 billion minutes streamed. You can't divide that into. You can't say what was your favorite episode. You can't say like now. You can say what was your favorite minute. I guess they have that data of the amount, how much time. What they have to have that so you can know the exact 1 minute that everyone watched on a particular show. It just seems different these days. Everything's changing rapidly. I'm fine with keeping up with the pace. I love technology. I love all that kind of stuff. But here we go. Here we go. Other things I was talking about. So this isn't political again, not. But I found out today, as many of you guys did, the new administration has a plan to put a cap on interest rates and possibly reduce credit card interest rate to 10% across the board. Um, there's a lot of wacky things going on right now, good and bad, but American debt is enormous. Me alone, you guys might be fascinated to find out how much credit card debt I've had, paid off, got again, back and forth. As a musician, what do you call that? There's a new buzzword, the gig economy that everybody works in. Uber driving and all the different things that the gig economy. You go through these dark times where you live specifically on the credit card, and then you find a way to pay all that off. But like right now, I don't. Not to get too personal, but anyone that knows me real well knows that uh, I take a great pride in my credit score. It's not a perfect credit score because my debt to income ratio is bad, but my last check was 780 and 800's great, right? What's up, Dan? How you doing, buddy? And I've never missed an official payment on anything in my entire life. No car payment, no rent payment, no mortgage payment, no credit card payment. Any. Uh, I've had loans with friends, and they've been kind enough to let me skip things from time to time. But any of that official, I take this great pride in that. And but if they were able to really knock that down to 10%, America could get out of that so tremendously faster. Right now, like again, oh, my point about my credit scores, two of my credit cards have a 21% interest rate on it with an almost perfect credit score. So I can't imagine some of those interest rates have got to be 27 and 30% to people that may not have solid credit. I just don't even. And at this day and age, you have to use a credit card for something because money is so strange. So I will be amazed to see if he actually makes that happen, and if he does, um, that'll be a godsend to a ton of the middle class people that are just living in debt. I just thought that was interesting. I thought I'd heard everything about what everybody was planning on doing, everybody's plans, everything's you know with the new administration, and I hadn't heard that. It was nice to hear that because not everything else has been nice lately. So, you know, and so there's the other thing too. And again, we're supposed to be the strongest, biggest, greatest country in the whole world, right? But yet, uh, we don't have an Iron Curtain yet, even though our money built Israel's Iron Curtain, and I think all of us. Well, I said 8 o'clock, Lisa. Like I don't know what the right time to start is, 8 or 9 o'clock, because 9 o'clock on the East Coast gets late for everyone, but 8 o'clock is early on the West Coast because that makes it 5 o'clock, I think. I don't know when the right time to go live is, but any of your guys' suggestions, put a time. You just everybody that's in there, 31 people watching, just put what the best time for this would be for you, and I'll average it out and try to do that. But what was I saying? Oh, the Iron Curtain. We're supposed to. We funded Israel's Iron Curtain, but yet we don't have one of our own. It's ridiculous. It like it's shocking. I keep hearing that we're gonna build our own Iron Curtain. Why do we not have it yet? That's all I have to say about it. It's just ridiculous. I'm marking off my list. All my topics today just going down. 8:30. Beth says we have one person. 31 people in and one person answered. 8 p.m. is perfect for Randy. Randy, is Rhonda watching with you? 8. Oh, Lisa, my East Coasters are voting you out at 8. uh, um, so I'm trying to move around in different, trying to make it all go flowingly and make sense. Um, so with all of that stuff that we're talking about, it's I think a lot lately about. Let me preface this. I've seen a lot of the United States. I've spent an enormous time traveling. I've been all around. I love seeing new places. I love seeing new things. Um, I'm not I'm gonna get the fuck out of the country because of the administration type of guy. Either direction, but man, I've been thinking a lot just about not living in the United States. So I'm curious to all of you guys watching. Do any of you guys actually ever truly think about moving out of the United States? Not out of anger, not out of just something fresh and something new. Uh, I think about it all the time, and I think what's interesting to me is I love the beach, I love Mexico, I love the Caribbean, and for the most part, if you were to ask me, or anyone that knows me would speak in my place, would assume that I would end up in Cabo San Lucas or the Riviera Maya or Belize or all these different things. Um, but I'm constantly drawn to and fascinated with Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, and all these places. And I will tell you that one time we were over playing Sweden Rocks. I know, Rick. What's up, buddy? Um, and I guess those are the Norwegian places. Um, but I want to know so bad. Man, my buddy Mike Thompson went there, and Norman's been over there, and me and Brett were there for Sweden Rocks, and Brett got sick, and we didn't leave the country for an extra 3 days, and he was laid up in his room, and me and Doyle, his guitar tech at the time, stayed while everybody else left, and it was just us three. But I would take these walks every day by this land that looked like it was like from the Hobbits or whatever, or from any kind of movie like that. I don't even know what to say, but it was so clean, and the food, just eating a hamburger, was so fresh. Um, only feel safe here. Don't trust the world. And people were so nice, and it was just different. And everything in my life lately, I'm jonesing for some kind of change, a different, a different, just a different view. Maybe I don't know, uh, but I just want to go, and I think also because my youngest son, plans on, literally has plans to finish his college or his schooling, and take his career to uh, the Netherlands. And I guess that's on my mind a lot lately. So I don't know. I don't know. I might have to spend my life doing stages and YouTube lives just to keep up with all of my friends, because lately, man, I just want to go somewhere else. But it's not a bash on the U.S. I just want to see some other stuff. You know, maybe I just need a vacation because we all know I don't really ever do that. But you know, so that's that. That's my not living in the U.S. I'm scratching that off my list now. Candle wise, I have to tell you guys, uh, for anyone interested, I feel like the reviews on switching to Cottonwick, since I think the first YouTube live we did was me coming out about the stress of the candle stuff. So I feel like I should update sometimes and talk about it sometimes on this episode, on every episode that I do. Um, but I've had no negative reaction about the cotton wicks at all. So if any of you guys have had them and you're out there using them, uh, you haven't said anything bad to me yet. But uh, it, as I settle in, it's really been the right decision. I've got to make all this other cool stuff and move faster than I've ever had with all the new products that we have out and stuff. Um, so yeah, we have a brand new scent actually that I just got in today that is going to be called Baltic Dew, and there we go. I felt that fits with everything I'm talking about wanting to do with my moving and stuff like that. But we'll release it probably to everybody next week. But it is probably my favorite thing we've done since Sunkist. If you guys remember how much I love Sunkist, it's a very natural, organic, uh, clean, outdoorsy scent. Which sometimes I don't love that stuff as much as other people, but this thing is called Baltic Dew, and man, I love it. It's awesome. So when we get it out, I hope you guys are thinking about giving it a shot and trying some new stuff for the New Year's. I don't know if you saw the email or the post today, but we do so good with those saying candles. The candles with the labels of the sayings on it. And ever since we started selling those, all I ever do is sit around thinking, what would a better saying be? What would a better label? We've had some really creative ones and we've done really well with it. But I always feel like someone goes, oh, I would love that if it just said this. And so I don't know if you guys saw or not today, but for the next 72 hours, you can buy a candle and any label you want on it, any saying that I've missed or not thought of or you've seen somewhere else, and with the black, with the white label, with the black, the real trendy way they write things. Any saying you want, it'll be one of a kind candle for the next 72 hours. Though there's 5 different scents you can choose from, and but anything you want on the label. I thought that was a neat idea, to be honest with you. And I know the email went out today and the text went out. And to be honest with you, I thought there'd be a ton more orders for it. Maybe people are thinking of what to say. Maybe since they know that they have 72 hours. But I think it's a cool idea. So if you saw it, you can go to Shining Soul and you can order your candle with any saying you want on it. I think it'll be cool. So scratching more off my list. If Janet's watching, Janet tried to help me learn uh, a different way to put my thing. So I talk every week about looking down like this, and I don't like it. And I have another monitor here, but I need to have a monitor right here to make it comfortable. And I already have ads. So half of this is me looking down. But you know what? I've been watching tons of other people, and I noticed that they all read their comments. There's half of the YouTubers just looking down like this. So it is what it is. A couple other things I was going to talk about today. I usually don't talk about Star Trek, but I'm going to. Um, I'm a Star Wars fan. I am a Trekkie too, but I wave the Star Wars flag. But if you have the Paramount app, there's a Star Trek movie that came out called Section 31. I didn't even see much press about it. I didn't know it was coming out. Normally I know when that stuff's coming out. But if you're a sci-fi fan, not just Star Trek, because it doesn't even feel like Star Trek. It feels like a whole new set of rules and a whole new storyline. They just have a federation or whatever. But anyway, if you're into that kind of stuff, man, this movie is awesome. Uh, Lucasfilms needs to step up, man. I love my Star Wars, but every time Paramount does something with Star Trek, it looks better, feels better. The acting is better. Uh, Whoever's running Paramount, I wish that, wife swap. I wish that we could do job swap, and everybody at Paramount went to work on Star Wars for a day. That is what I would love. uh, and then, this sounds dumb, but um, we order groceries a lot. So groceries, we just order groceries. And then last night, for the first time in a long, long time, I actually went into the grocery store by myself to get some stuff. And when me and Kristen first separated, and then I would take the kids to the grocery store, I get so excited. At first, I was so excited because like no one's gonna tell us what to get or not get. We're three boys, and we're gonna get all whatever we want. But it became an outing, and I loved going to the grocery store with the kids. They didn't love it, but it was for all the things that I do that seem unreal in my life with in the music business and all that fascinating stuff. There's a handful of things that I do that feel so normal, and my life is so not normal that I love it. And I'm just walking through this grocery store by myself last night, up and down the aisles, and strangely, it's exciting to me as it is when most of you guys go to a concert, I think. And but so again, just talking and trying to have a conversation with the people watching, like, does the grocery store drive you guys crazy? Does it make you insane, or do you enjoy it? Is it relaxing? Like, sometimes I get mad if I'm in a grocery store I don't know, and I can't find what I'm looking for, and I feel like a fool, and I feel like everyone's watching me, and I'm going up and down. But yeah, Walmart is not grocery shopping, Jeanette. Not grocery shopping. So it's something I can't even comprehend. I have to sit. If you watch my Facebook post, I have to sit in the Walmart parking lot for 20 minutes before I can even build the nerve up to go in that place. And I could try all different hours, and it's always busy. But grocery shopping itself, I I I like had the greatest time for like 40 minutes last night. I had the greatest time just walking up and down and just doing something that just felt normal. And you know, I'm just curious to everyone else. Like, does grocery store make you guys crazy? Do you enjoy going? But it was also empty. Had I gone when it was had I gone when it was busy, I wouldn't be able to. I couldn't have stood it. So I don't know, but that kind of thing is. I think about that a lot, and I think about the things that I just don't get to do that are normal, and it's just can't do Walmart. Period. Right? And when did Walmart become a grocery store? But I have to tell you guys this: if I haven't told you this before, look, the whole thing is I hate shopping. Anywhere I go where people are makes me crazy. Lisa, you and me feel the same way about that. So I don't know if you guys have been to one of these Amazon grocery stores, which is not where I went. I went to it's just a Safeway in Gainesville, but I don't know if you know the theory behind the Amazon grocery stores, where you basically just when you walk in, you put your Apple Pay against something, or something tells you when you walk in that you have a credit card, and then you go and you do all your shopping, and then you just walk out of the store. You don't check out. The cart reads it, whatever reads it when you check in with your credit card. So I haven't been in the Amazon store yet, but at Dulles Airport now, in one of the terminals, I don't know where it is, one of the newsstands that I stop at to get a drink or a snack or something when I'm in the airport has this feature now. And they have someone waiting there, and when you walk up, there's a turnstile or whatever, and you have to lay your phone down and do Apple Pay. And then, or whatever, use your credit card. Then you walk in, you get whatever you want, and you just walk out of the store. And it is the strangest feeling in the world. Have any of you guys done a store like that yet? Have you been in a place that operates like this? I love it. And now I get excited. Like, I keep hoping I'm in that terminal, even if I don't need something. I'm going to go in there because it's. I love that kind of the technology. I love that kind of thing. But but it's also interesting the time it takes to teach people to do that, especially in an airport. You're not confined to a certain generation or a certain style of people. So, regardless of the fact that it is eventually going to use less manpower to run the thing, right now they have one or two people sitting there explaining it to you, and it's been like that for like 3 months now. That and I've seen people turn away because they don't understand what's going on. They don't want to just put their credit card down, and so that goes in multiple directions too. I don't know. I think it's cool, and I like that technology, but I don't know how. Do you guys feel comfortable walking into a store and just letting it read your phone to know that you have the access to be in there and spend something, and then walk out? I shop at the commissary. I'm stress free as it is more of a time for me to connect with them. I get that, Ken. I get that. And thank you for being a veteran, and thank you for what you've done to make this country what it is, brother. Yeah. Someone's got to chime in about this stuff. You've either been there or you haven't. At least tell me you have or you haven't seen one of these kind of places. I'm just looking through the different chats. Yeah. All right. Then we move on to the next thing. Move on to the next thing. And this is a much deeper. Oh, it's because you're antisocial. This is why I do Instacart. So I don't. I like that when people at the grocery store. Person can tell a lot about person from the food. That's true too. Uh, you know, it's not that I'm antisocial as much as there's some strange anxiety that's come into. I can do this all day long with people. I don't know where the anxiety has come from. I don't know the words antisocial, but I'm. But what I like about it is I'm a technology guy. DoorDash will do the shopping for you. Drop it. Yep, I know. So, but I just like the technology of it. Walking in a store and I don't know. I think that's crazy. So, if something that uh, I've been thinking about a lot and be curious. It says there's 26 people watching. And be curious. I remember. I remember one time I wrote this song called "Face to Face," and I played it for uh, my friend Ned Maloney. And Ned sat and listened to the lyrics. And if you guys have heard the song, uh, he said, "Man, you really put yourself out there, don't you? You don't really leave much to the imagination." Lyrics were something I was speaking honestly about, but that has always stuck with me since the minute that Ned said that to me. Is yeah, I do put myself out there. I try not to hide a lot. I try to be a super open book. Um, so, with that being said, I've spoke more and more about this in the last couple of weeks, especially on this show, um, about the experiences that my brain thinks I've had. Um, so, and what some of you guys may know and some of you guys may not know, uh, multiple times in my life, I've gone through hypnotherapy, past life regressions. I've done all this stuff trying to sort through my head the experiences, the encounters and the conversations. Um, there's two things about this. I'll get to uh, in my experiences. I don't have any memories of the physical stuff. I have um, telepathic communications that talk about the earth, talk about protecting it. Um, So, as most of you guys know, I have this, the fear, the nuclear war thing that started as a kid with me, crippling. And in the experiences I've had in my life, I've always been shown visions of what is you're considered the end of the world. It's not uncommon. Almost everybody that's had the experiences I have has been shown catastrophic, what we all believe are visions of the future. Again, hard to understand if time is one spot. How is there a future and a past? Going back to the beginning of this. Anyway, moving forward, the new book I'm reading that I've told everyone about on Facebook from Whitley Strieber called The Fourth Mind discusses the fact that the beings that everyone calls gray aliens may have been here. There's a whole lot of theory right now that they may have been here a long, long time. They're not from outer space. They're from our planet. And Whitley gives an interesting perspective that maybe the visions that all of us that have had these experiences happen aren't of our future, but of their past. Because the whole concept is that we've lost something, they've lost something. It goes, and that they're trying to get something from us and also help us from happening to them, what happened to them. And now the thought is that there's been civilization after civilization after civilization that we don't know about. It could be built up and brought down and built up and brought down in billions of years that the Earth has been here. And so now it's fascinating to me to think that all this stuff that I believe I'd been shown, and it may be dreams, was them saying, this happened to us, don't let it happen to you, which is somewhat relieving to think that it's not a vision of the future, and that our story may be not written yet. But interestingly enough, I don't know if any of you guys know what the doomsday clock is. It's a legitimate thing that is set with a time when it hits midnight. What it means is we're closer. It's not a real clock. Like it's kind of it's a setup thing by real professors, real scientists, and real award-winning super brain smart dudes. But if you don't know about it, it's called the doomsday clock. And especially during the Cold War, that they would move the clock a minute closer every time they think that we are closer to destroying ourselves or the end of the world. You don't hear much about it anymore, but they moved the clock today a minute ahead. And the clock is the closest it's been to midnight, doomsday, that it's ever been. So this isn't political. You saw it, Jeanette. It's not political. This isn't. These are a bunch of scientists that. It's not a scare tactic. It's not. It's not fear mongering. It's nothing like that. Yeah, 89 seconds. Yeah, that's it. It's set at 89 seconds. Sarah, you know that. It's funny a couple of you guys know that. That's terrifying, man. That it's not news media. It's not fear mongering. It's not the right or the left. It's scientists and scholars that today move the doomsday clock forward. I was watching their video on that this evening. There you go, Tim. 89 seconds. Fascinating, man. Why? I mean, we know why. We know the tension that's going on in the country, and we know how terrible everything is. But what happened in their eyes that moved that closer? It just can't be, man. There's got to be a way to figure this all out for our kids and their kids. There's just got to be a way, man. That's all. So let me get to the last thing that was on my mind to talk about today. And it's more of a question I'd be interested in. As I said, in my life, I've done past life regressions. I've been hypnotized. Uh, Different people all around the country, not connected with each other, and most times the information comes the same. So it's hard to discredit what I learn about myself from these things when it's all very, very similar. So with that being said, it's been years. It's been years since I done anything like that, and my life has changed drastically, and my connection to all this stuff has changed. It's digressed. It's regressed. And so I've been in contact lately uh, with a hypnotherapist that deals 100% directly with abduction cases and stuff like that. And I thought it'd been such a long time. I was, I'm thinking about having an appointment and going through the hypnosis, and but I'm curious if I videotaped it and put it up for the world to watch. Is that letting someone get too close? Is that, it's not a look at me because it's embarrassing stuff. It's not look how cool I am. I'm on stage with in front of 50, 60,000 people. It's if any of you guys have ever been under hypnosis, you 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 don't really have control. You're not in control. Um, 2 minutes to midnight is a revenue. That's right, Andrew. I know that, buddy. Uh, but I, I'm because I live in the real world with a lot of real friends, and I don't seclude myself to the people that a lot of the people that live in that world that I'm talking about are. It's a tight knit group of people, no one in and no one out. I refuse to live in that world, uh, but I also believe that there's a lot of information out there that um, that people that don't really know about these things don't know. There's a bunch of science fiction, but I, I'm just curious to wonder if I let something that personal out and show it to the world, to a lot of people that just see me as this normal guitar player, and drastically try to avoid when I talk about this kind of stuff. They try to pretend like I don't. I mean, they don't even want to know that I deal in this world. But I wonder if it would be something that people who normally wouldn't watch or be interested in would watch, because you guys would go, "Hey, this, my friend Pete, he's Brett Michaels' guitar player. He watch him get hypnotized." Uh, the truth is stranger than fiction, Tim. As a matter of fact, that is in the lyric to one of my new songs. Is based on the title may actually be "The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction." I've been toying with that phrase for weeks, trying to get something out of my head about that. So anyway, uh, just out of curiosity, I'm asking you guys, my friends, if I hypnotized myself, if I was hypnotized by this woman and videotaped it and put it out, do you think you guys would watch it? Is it something that would interest you in any way, shape, or form, or is it uh, just something that is uninteresting or creepy, or and I haven't even agreed to do it yet. That was something I did. Those things I did a long time ago, several times, and I got the answers I needed. But time has passed, and this woman reached out, and so I thought, why did she reach out? There must be something, and it's interesting. Have any of you guys ever been hypnotized? Have you ever been through any hypnotherapy, anything like that at all? Maybe I should. You should, Lisa. You should. Do you guys have any of you guys noticed, by the way I've got the room set up now? When we do this, I have my Boba Fett peeking around the corner, and then the Jakey Lee guitar, and the Eddie Van Halen 5150 guitar, and then my green guitar. Like it's the perfect setup. Like Gavin made that thing for me for Christmas, the Star Wars wall, and it's perfect in here. I would normally have. Uh, Is that Chris Harrington, my buddy from elementary school? Are you watching, buddy? Is that you? How crazy would that be if it is? Um, but anyway, uh, the with Gavin making that thing and the way we put the guitars up or whatever, for a long time when we moved in here, I had a hard time coming into this room to be creative when this was the room made for me to be creative. But right now it's set up so cool that I love it. The only difference is I want purple lights all the time, but we put the purple light on and it looks different. Like it it's weird how the lighting works versus what it sees on camera. So if I turn the purple lights on, then the purple behind the guitars turns into some other weird color. It get crazy. Chris Harrington, buddy, what are you doing? If all my friends that are watching right now, if you Chris is a friend of mine from elementary school. We don't see each other or talk much, but we were buddies from the very beginning, man. Everyone's hello to Chris. Loch Lomond, brother. I always remember, Chris, we had something where we had to make food and bring it in. And I don't have any idea why, but I always remember that you made bran muffins. And I'd never heard the word bran. I didn't understand what it was. And I learned that word that day because of you, what bran muffin was. And I don't even remember what I made that day, but I always remember that you made the bran muffins. So there's Randy saying hello. Look, everybody. Hello, Chris. Chris, if you just chimed in, though, you better hit subscribe and hit that like button. I gotta ask, do you guys watch YouTubers or watch them do that thing? Oh, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please hit like. I don't even understand what it really does, but I know you guys are up here just supporting me and trying to help me build this anyway. So since you're doing that anyway, please hit the like button. And I don't know, man. I covered like 12 topics, and you know, trying to be conversational. I don't know. I don't know if am I pushing the limits on the certain topics, and it's stuff that some of you guys don't really want to speak about or come about. What do I need to shift? What do I need to do other than the fact that I'm eventually going to start bringing guests on? I want to do guests, but I also need to figure out how to make this stuff more interesting to all you guys. Like I said, I made a list of all those topics, and I feel like maybe David Lee Roth and M3 were the peak of it. So do I go to just music when I'm doing these, and do we just talk about music? Because I can do that all day long too. I just like that. To me, it's like I want to talk about music, and then I want to talk about what's happening in the world, and then I want to talk about, I always want to touch base with the candle shop, and I want to the UFO stuff. I like, to me, it's in segments that I want to bring up, and but if you guys have any better ideas or anything that I would do that would make it more interesting to any of you guys, man, please hit me up and help me figure out how to navigate this thing and make it cooler. And I'm grateful you guys tune in though. Have you tried pulling up the chat on your phone to see if it syncs better? Sarah, I haven't. I don't. Maybe that would be a thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing at all. I don't know. So I do know that I haven't plugged the acoustic shows. We played. We did another ultimate acoustic rock show this week in Detroit. So awesome. If you're in the Detroit area, the Belleville Bait Shop is the coolest bar to do the acoustic stuff. And we had such a good time there. If you're ever in the area, you live in the area, you know in the area, tell them to go check this place out. But this week, me and Chad and Dean, we go Florida for 3 days. We start in Sarasota, and then we go to Tampa, and then we go to Orlando, and from Orlando we come up to Greer, South Carolina, and then we have 2 days off, and then we play Annapolis. And for all my local friends, or even not so local, that means you, Leanne, or anybody. I've said this a million times. The Annapolis gig, the Rams Head on Stage, is a very prestigious gig. It's a very important gig. Wednesday night is brutal, and January is brutal. So if any of you guys can make it to the Annapolis gig next Wednesday, um, I know if you've seen the show before, the show evolves. Me and Chad were just talking this week about how the stories, even though some of the same songs, we changed the stories. They've evolved. Now the show itself, after 2 years, we have stories to tell about the songs from being us. So the storytelling element, it continues to grow. We've added some new material, but Wednesday's hard, man. Any of you guys know anybody in Annapolis or the surrounding area that would come out on a Wednesday night, please point him to the direction of the Ram's Head. It's such. I never thought I'd be 52 years old and still just trying to impress the people in the business, not the fans, not my friends, not my family, but you're only as good as what you've done for someone lately in the music business. So we did really good there on a Sunday last time, but if we don't do good on the Wednesday, uh, then it's what have you done for me lately? And I might have jumped the gun and shouldn't have taken the show. They offered me a show, and I was so honored that they wanted me to do it that I don't know that I thought it through. But anyway, I'm doing it. I'll be there. Chad will be there. Dean will be there. Randy will be there. Uh, you know, anything you can do, I'd appreciate that. If you're in Florida, we're there for in South Carolina. Check it out. And then Worcester, uh, which is that place Rascals in Massachusetts. This will be our third time bringing that show there, and man, it's awesome. Um, uh, what a great place to play, any of the stuff. If you look on my Facebook, I posted all the dates at the end of the year, and we're just I have a lot of fun doing that. It's my favorite thing I do, to be honest with you, the ultimate acoustic thing with Chad and Dean. And so, any of you guys could spread the word on that and help me get some people out to check it out. I'll be forever grateful, man. I think so. That's it. I think that wraps it up this weekend. Again, if you guys could hit me up any way you know how to get in touch with me and tell me what to do to make it more exciting, better, fun, I'm all for it. I want to build this, especially if I'm going to move to Sweden and I'm going to have to keep in contact with you guys with this. But thank you for listening to my updates. Thank you for listening to my thoughts on things, whether you agree with them or disagree with them. I appreciate you just listening and chiming in when you can. And again, if you haven't subscribe, hit the like button. And this is episode 5. We'll see you next week, I hope, for episode 6. And, happy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you guys very much.